Aloha, I'm Jan Thielst with Boho Love Treasures. I'm the sole designer and fabricator of the jewelry. I'm going to show you a few of my pieces today. This is sediment jasper dyed purple. I've set it in a sterling bezel and I've made the chain. And this chain is really versatile. I use it for a lot of things. I also made the clasp. Next, I'm going to show you some of my cuff bracelets. I love to make cuffs. I cut them out of this silver sheet. It's quite heavy, and the bracelets hold their shape really well. This one is more narrow. They're, make them different widths. All three of these are different widths. And also the texture on them is different. I like to texture them and then antique them because it brings out the texture and just makes it look more vintage to me. This one is a Hawaiian sunrise shell, which is, I spent a lot of time cleaning and getting it really nice looking, and it's just wired onto this cuff. Then this cuff is a Botswana agate, which I have bezeled and soldered onto the cuff. This one is a piece of apatite, and as you can see, I drilled holes in the cuff and then laced the wire back and forth and made this really nice design to hold it onto the cuff. This is also made from sheet metal, these earrings. I've cut this shield shape. And then this is a much lighter texture that I put on here. But I did antique these also to bring out the texture. Made this little swirl. This is the same length that's in the chain I showed you earlier. This is, these are vintage African trade beads. These earrings are very lightweight and easy to wear. Now these earrings are made from vintage Monet chain, and this chain is probably about 40 years old. In 40 years it's still going to look the same, even though it's just some sort of base metal. And so it's just an example of how when I use jewelry that's vintage, it's good quality vintage jewelry. This chain is going to look the same in 30 more years. This is labradorite. You can see how it changes color. It's quite beautiful. There's lots of movement and lots of color in these earrings. Same with the ones that I just showed you. These right here, lots of color, and not color so much as movement. These are jade. They were originally clip-ons. This is vintage. I had to get the clip-ons off. They were glued on without breaking the jade because it's not real thick. This is what's called a step bezel set so that you can see both sides. This is my signature ear wire. It's a nice shape. It's wire wrapped and then has a little twirl there at the end. And these are little jade leaves that are vintage also. Then I've made these rings that the ring itself is made on one piece of metal, but there are two bezels, one for the shell, one for the Hawaiian beach glass. The shank on these rings is thick and heavy, wide, in order to keep the ring from turning on your finger so much. And it's textured also. And it looks nice with my purple nails. Now, these are the earrings that were in an earlier video. I was wearing them. This is a different ear wire that I make. That's the same length that was in the necklace. These were cut out and hammered on the back to give it kind of a concave look. Texture was applied, and they were antiqued. Most of my silver, a lot of my silver is antiqued because it brings out the texture and the pattern in the pieces that I use and make it stand out. This is a necklace that I had on earlier. These beads are made from fossils. The beads are not fossils, but the material is. And the texture and the colors in them is quite organic and beautiful. I use really good quality findings, as you can see from this clasp, which is really good quality and very pretty and very different. This is one of my keychains that I make. These are in high demand. This double link up here is a little tricky to make, but once you know how to do it, it's pretty easy. This is a seed. This is ceramic. I use all different kinds of things in my keychains, except for these. This is traditional on the end. It's made by the Kuchi tribe. They're a nomadic tribe in Afghanistan whose way of life is disappearing because of the Taliban's presence there. But occasionally I can get more of these from friends that are stationed over there. But for right now, I have about 20 of these keychains, and then they're gone, no more tassels. So that's it for today. I encourage you to visit my website, boholovetreasures.com. Thank you.